My name is Sajid. I am 28 years old. On August 11, 2023, I stood in the middle of London holding a burning book above my head. Crowds were shouting. Cameras were filming. Police were watching. I believed with all my heart that I was doing the will of God. 8 seconds later, I collapsed to my knees, unable to breathe, convinced I was dying. I did not know that those 8 seconds would destroy everything I believed, and rebuild my life in a way I never imagined. I was born and raised in Birmingham, in a deeply religious Muslim home. Faith was not just part of our lives, it was our life. My father taught me the Quran before I could even read English. Every morning before school we sat together on the prayer mat. He recited slowly and clearly, and I copied him word by word. At that age, I didn't understand what I was saying, I only knew the sounds. But memorizing those verses made my parents proud. By the time I was 7 years old, I could recite long passages from memory. Relatives praised me. My mother told people I would become a great religious leader one day. I believed her. Prayer was not optional in our home. We prayed 5 times a day, every day. Before sunrise. At midday. In the afternoon. At sunset. At night. My whole childhood was built around prayer times. While other children talked about cartoons and games, I talked about hadith, prophets, and rules. I was different, and I was proud of it. I believed I was better because of my discipline and devotion. At 18, I went to university in Manchester. My parents were nervous. They worried that university life would corrupt me. Parties. Alcohol. Freedom. I promised them I would stay faithful. I kept that promise and then some. In my first week, I found the campus mosque. I attended every Friday prayer. Soon I was attending daily. By my second year, I was leading prayers. Students came to me for advice. They asked about Islamic law, morality, and how to live as Muslims in the West. I felt important. I felt respected. I felt chosen. My faith gave me identity, purpose, and pride. During my second year, something changed. I found online forums where Muslims around the world discussed global issues. These weren't calm discussions. They were emotional, intense, and angry. Every day I saw videos and images from Palestine, Syria, Myanmar, China. Bombed cities. Crying children. Destroyed mosques. Dead bodies. I couldn't stop watching. Anger grew inside me like pressure trapped in a sealed container. The men online spoke with passion and rage. They said Muslims were under attack everywhere. They said the West was evil and hypocritical. They said peaceful prayer was useless. They said it was time to act. Slowly my worldview changed. Everything became us versus them. Any criticism of Islam was hatred. Any news story about extremism was a lie. Anyone who disagreed was an enemy. I stopped questioning. I started believing. At 22, I was invited to a meeting in London by someone from the forums. I told my parents I was attending a study group. The meeting was held in a community center. About 15 men were there. Some young. Some older. All intense. They spoke with fire. They talked about humiliation, action, resistance. They mocked patience and peace. They called it weakness. I felt understood for the first time. These men shared my anger. My frustration. My sense of injustice. Unlike my father, who always taught patience, these men wanted confrontation. I started traveling to London regularly. These meetings became my world. My new family. The language grew harsher over time. Protests. Confrontation. Provocation. Showing strength. I stopped seeing old friends. I judged Muslims who tried to live peacefully in British society. I called them weak. Compromised. Sellouts. Even my father became concerned. He warned me gently. I accused him of cowardice. I didn't see wisdom, I saw weakness. At 27, I was fully committed. Then came the announcement. Our leader said it was time for a major protest. Central London. Cameras everywhere. We would burn their holy book to show strength. The date? August 11, 2023. I volunteered immediately. I wanted to prove my devotion. I wanted to show fearlessness. I wanted to be seen. The leader called me a warrior. I felt proud. I woke before dawn and prayed. I asked Allah for courage. I believed I was doing something righteous. I dressed plainly. Packed a book. Lighter fluid. A cheap lighter. My hands did not shake. I arrived in London around noon. By afternoon, hundreds had gathered. Police set barriers. Media cameras rolled. The chanting began. Loud, rhythmic, powerful. I felt invincible. When the leader nodded at me, I stepped forward. The crowd opened. People cheered. Cameras focused. I raised the book, poured the lighter fluid, struck the flame. The fire exploded faster than I expected. For 3 seconds I felt victorious. Then everything changed. The book slipped from my hand. My chest tightened like it was being crushed by a massive weight. I couldn't breathe. My legs gave out. I fell to my knees. I thought I was dying. Sounds faded. Vision blurred. My heart hammered violently. Panic flooded me. I gasped for air that wouldn't come. People surrounded me. Voices shouted my name. I couldn't answer. Suddenly, memories flooded my mind. My mother teaching kindness. My father helping with homework. My sister laughing before I pushed her away. Friends I rejected. My father's tears when I insulted him. Only the moments I was ashamed of. I realized this wasn't a heart attack. This was conviction. The weight of my hatred. My pride. My self-righteousness. I had been wrong. Completely wrong. I tried to pray in Arabic. The words wouldn't come. Instead, English words escaped my mouth. God, if you're real, help me. My hands lifted upward in surrender. The pressure slowly lifted. My breathing returned. But I was not the same person anymore. The leader shouted at me to continue. I couldn't. I stood up and walked away, through police lines without looking back. That day the old me died. Days later I searched. What do Christians believe? I read about Jesus. Love your enemies. Pray for those who hate you. Forgive. It shook me. I ordered a Bible in secret. I read all night. Jesus was nothing like I expected. He challenged the proud. He welcomed sinners. He preached mercy. 6 weeks later I entered a small church. The pastor spoke about grace. I told him everything. He said, Jesus met you at your worst and has been pursuing you ever since. I wept. That night I prayed, Jesus, I believe you are real. Forgive me. Make me new. Peace filled me. I told my parents. My father said, you are no longer my son. I lost my family, my community, my safety. I was threatened. I moved homes. But I did not go back. I was baptized. I now share my story with love, not hate. I pray for my family every day. I was broken on my knees with a burning book. Jesus stopped me. Jesus saved me. Jesus changed everything.